Hello and welcome to The Future is 3D. My name is Jeff Christiana, and today I'm going to show you how to load your filament for the first time and also how to change colors. So we've got our print head. I've got it up about 20 millimeters. This is a brand new print head, never been used before. We're running the tip at 220 Celsius right now, and we've set the motor speed to 100, and we're going to extrude for a minute, and then we'll set it to the 60-second setting, and we'll extrude as many number of times it takes to get the plastic to feed through. So let's get our filament ready. Now on the filament, the end is cut flush. You don't want it to be crooked in any way. Actually, I could probably trim that a little bit. Let's go down here, straight across. And this is really important if you're going to feed another color after another color. I really don't recommend that you put the motor in reverse. Don't put it in reverse, because what happens is you're pulling up the melted plastic, and then the pinch wheels flatten it, and then you can't get it through the top hole. So it's best just to run it through. It only takes a few seconds. You don't waste that much plastic, and I'll show you that here in the video. So I'm going to go ahead and insert the plastic in the top. We'll come right down to where we hit the what I'm going to do is I'm going to back these out by hand. Actually, what we're going to do is just by hand, just to where they start getting a little bit of tension. Just a little bit of tension. You don't want this to be too tight. You don't want too much pressure against the filament drive. This is called the idle wheel, the idle bearing, and this is the filament driver on that side. I've got one hole out here. I've been doing some testing. So here we have our filament. It's been cut. These are just hand tight. I'm going to go and put the motor forward. Now the tip has to be above 180 degrees Celsius before you can move the tip forward. It's a safety precaution. So motor's moving forward. Now we're just going to put some slight pressure on this. There we go. The motor is going to grab it. Filament driver is driving it through. And as it pulls through, you can try to hold it back. Use your hand to grab the filament, hold it back. You can see I'm unable to stop it. And that was just finger tight. That is just finger tight on these. And that might even be too much. It did take me a bit of force to get it past the filament and the bearing. Once you have it in, you can fine tune these a bit. I mean, so far it looks pretty even here. And so far so good. Okay, I gotta do another 60 seconds. You don't want to do too much, because if you have a problem, there's really no way of stopping that motor besides turning it off. And then you'll have to turn your heats on, restart replicator G, and all that needs to restart over again. So let me see if I can get zoomed in. The plastic is coming out. Let's get zoomed in here. I want to show you what it should look like And you can see it's a really nice flow. If you have any kind of print head issues, your plastic will not flow as easy as this. And you'll also see that, you know, when you're printing in the air, it likes to bunch back up on itself. I get that free here. Once it starts, it likes to just grab onto itself. Really easy to clean up. What I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and extrude some more here. I'm going to do 2 minutes of extrusion. Got one little hanger there. You can see the width of this, and what I'll do is I'll get the caliper out and we'll measure that. This is a 0.35 head, so you should have 0.35 extrusion. And you can see how it's just wrapping right up on itself there. It's very nice. It's a really good, some really good flow. So what I'm going to do now is let's change out our color. I'm going to put the camera back up. That's a real nice flow. It's doing really well. And I'm going to show you how simple it is. Change out your color. As soon as this finishes, I'm going to grab a different color here. I'm going to grab a chunk of yellow here. And that is still extruding. Still coming out nice. Well, while that's extruding, I'm going to go ahead and take the clippers and I'm going to snip the top. And now it just finished extruding. So and what I've done is I've taken this yellow and I've snipped it flush, and that'll butt right up against that one. So we'll go ahead and move it forward for 2 minutes. I'm going to take this, I'm going to follow right behind. Now if you do this just right, you can do this while it's printing, no problem. It takes a very little effort to do this as long as you follow it right behind the other. So here it comes. Pinch wheel's grabbing it. I'm putting very little pressure. The yellow is pushing the green, and it's gone through, so you have officially changed your color. Let me go ahead and put the camera back down, and we'll zoom in. And this is way easier than backing out your filament. This is the preferred way of doing it. If you time it just right in your object, you can get it to where it comes out right when you need it. You can actually time. I've never actually done that. I've actually timed how much at this speed it takes. Usually when you're doing a print job, the speed varies, so you can kind of get close to an estimate. So we're still squirting out green, still getting green. Let's see. Very nice flow, excellent flow. This is exactly what you should be seeing on your printer. Very nice. It's melting nice. It's sticking together nice. I mean, you can see how solid that is, even though it's just been extruded and just laying on top of each other. Oh, and here comes the yellow. It was very subtle. I didn't even notice it. There's the green, and there's the yellow. So we have successfully set up our print head. We've set the temperature. We've set the tension. on the idle bearing, and you can tell, I mean, I didn't even use an Allen wrench. So if you have any kind of problems in the head, or like a jam or a little fried dust or whatnot in the tip, you'll still get plastic to come out sometimes, but it'll be very difficult to push it out. The filament driver may stop and skip. There's a lot of torque on that, so that means there's definitely a problem. You could damage your print head pretty bad. So if your idle bearing slips, you know, if it stops and the filament driver keeps going, that means it's stripping your plastic, which is good. It's a safety measure. I mean, if it strips it out, that means it's not putting all the pressure on your tip head. You're not going to break something. So, but yeah, keep an eye on your idle bearing. If you want to, you can put little dashes on here with a Sharpie, and then you can see it turn much easier. But really, the best thing to do is just watch your print job. When you start your print job off, you want to watch that first layer of print. So let's do that. Let's walk you through this. I'm going to turn this down, and I'm going to change filament in the middle of this. We'll let the yellow run its course here. I'm going to start out a print job. Go over to the LCD. I'm going to put the SD card in there. Loading up the SD card. Card menu, do a refresh. We'll just do something small. Head's almost at temperature, 215, bed 70. We're going to extrude a little bit of plastic. We'll go right into the print job. See if I can get in there. What we're looking for in the first layer is a real even placement of plastic as each layer goes down side by side. We don't want it bunching up together or building up on itself. We just want it to lay flat. While this is printing, you always want to keep track of if your filament driver and your idle bearing are moving. When you go into the second layer of the print job, it moves a lot faster. So this first layer is just to get the plastic adhered. So here goes the faster layer. And as it does the infill, we'll let it continue to do it. It does an outer, slows down a little bit when it does the outside. So here comes the inside layer. And I'll watch the filament driver here. And you can see, try to move with it here. Another thing to watch for is to make sure each layer is nice and even. It's extruding the same. There's no breaks in the plastic. As you start getting into the actual infill part, it will no longer be a solid infill. It'll just be a sparse line fill, depending on the percentage that you used when generating the G-code. With this print here, and I'm going to switch colors again to show you how that works during an actual print job. Okay, set the tripod back up here again. I'll run some yellow through again. I'm just going to go ahead and snip that right there. Take the yellow, place it right in there. Make it so you can see that. See, the yellow is coming right down. Yellow's grabbed. I just got a little stub of yellow. And let's see how it goes. From the previous test, this is what that looked like. We had the yellow in there, and then the green printed after it fed through. With this one, we're going to feed through a bit of yellow, then we're going to feed back to green. You can see a little bit of yellow in there right now. Yeah, yellow is coming through. Now you can see the infill. The gaps are because of the infill percentage set. You can set that to 100%, but plastic needs room to expand, and plus there's really no reason to do 100% infill. Your part is just as strong with these settings, but if you need to, you can always set that to a higher number to get a full infill. Plus your plastic needs room to expand, so you don't get too much plastic and it starts to blob out the sides or rise up and smash, the tip will start getting buried into it if there's too much plastic being deposited. Okay, I'm going to run, snip that off. I'm going to run green through the head again. So we're going to get a layer of yellow and back to green again. If we make it, we might have too much yellow in the head here. Let's see if we can make it. Okay, the head has grabbed the green again and is pulling it through. We've already pulled it through. There's your green. So as you can see, changing out colors is not a big deal in the middle of a print job. Very easy to do. Now we got just the opposite of our yellow-green. We now have a green-yellow turtle. Idle bearing is still turning just fine. Got a good flow of plastic. Filament driver is moving just fine. Over and check our, so you can see this here, our LCD display, 210 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Celsius bed. We got 9 minutes into the print job. We're at 6.12 millimeters high on the Z. We're running at normal speed at 100%, and we're 71% done. And we show that the bed is done because I am now forcing the G-code to not to detect whether the bed is at temperature before it starts the print job. So that's something new. If you do not see bed done, you should re-download Replicator G. Now you can see the green has fed through. So we've got green, yellow, and now green. So that's how you change out your filament color. That's how you get your filament primed, how you run it through, your tension settings. So I hope this has been an informative video. We will see you in the next video where we'll be covering more topics. And if you have anything you wish to discuss, just shoot me an email and we will get a video created and we will get a video online and get it created for you. We'll see you later.